All right, so I have decided that I am going to start a YouTube channel. Here it is. I'm just doing this for me. I think for the longest time I've wanted to like record and share videos and just like for me, right? A video diary. And it's always just become overwhelming. So like I remember I went on a backpacking trip to Europe and I had my phone with me because I wanted to get like photos for Instagram and stories for Instagram, and then I had my camera because I wanted like more professional like photographs of whatever, and then I also had my GoPro because I was trying to video, and I'm like switching between all of these things everywhere I went, and then I never looked at the footage ever, never looked at the photos on my camera ever. It was just too much. And so like I decided back then, and that was like 5 years ago, I'm good. Like, I'm not making videos. I'm not doing all of that because I'm a perfectionist and I wanted to make them perfect. And if I couldn't make a perfect video, I just wasn't going to do it. So I've changed my way of thinking and I am going to make videos for me. I do it on Instagram all the time with stories. Like in the moment, something is happening that you enjoy, that you think is cool, and you share it, right? And I can do the same thing and just like clip it all together into a YouTube video. No fancy edits, no fancy shots, like just me talking to you like I do on Instagram. And we'll just see what happens. Maybe I'll get sick of it and maybe I'll still think it's overwhelming, even though I'm just gonna use my phone and I'm not gonna like do anything fancy. Anyway, if you don't know me, hi, I'm Judith. I have a van, which I'm sitting in right now. It's fully converted. I usually am traveling in here full time, but I just happen to be based in Ohio right now for work on like kind of a longer term contract. I work in experiential marketing, and I can like do like a whole episode on like what all that involves, but basically it's gig work. It's you know, working at events usually, or working for a brand and being the one that represents them. And that can be a contract that's anywhere from like one day, like maybe I'll just work for 4 hours, or it could be something longer term, like the client that I'm working with right now, I've been working with for like 5 months. And I think that contract is about to extend, so I might be in Ohio even longer. But usually I am able to go like wherever I want in the van and just pick up gigs in this field, and it's awesome. But the money is just like too good for me to leave Ohio. So I am going to stay put here. I actually am renting an Airbnb that I'm parked next to for kind of like longer term, so that me and my dogs have a place to stay. So also I have 3 dogs, all rescues, of course. Adopt, don't shop. We only like rescue dogs here. Speaking of rescue dogs, I, outside of working in experiential marketing and traveling in my van, I started an organization called Moyo Village. It's sort of like an animal rescue partnership that, the best way to explain it, like I partner with local animal rescues and lead volunteer trips to these places. So mostly where I do this is in Puerto Rico. So we have a bunch of different animal rescues on the island, and I host group volunteer trips there where we'll spend like half of the day volunteering with a rescue and then half of the day doing like an excursion of some sort on the island. But that's kind of what I do in like on the side, part-time. It's my way of like staying involved with animals and things that I care about. I used to be a zookeeper. Again, whole other story. Like my whole life 10 years ago is completely different than it is now. So yeah, just a side note, and just a way for me to stay connected with like animals. I work with rescues. So on this channel, what can we expect? Really, I just want to like chat and talk about my day-to-day. I do and will be doing a lot of traveling, again, kind of like outside of my Ohio contract work. And even Ohio is actually pretty cool. And there's some things that I would be excited to show you, even though nobody thinks Ohio is cool. And I did not think Ohio was cool either before I stayed here. But I think there's a lot that I could show you, like the Amish. I'm obsessed. Oh, we should talk about, let me just like back up and kind of like introduce like more of who I am outside of me having a van and like living in Ohio. So I grew up in a suburb of Chicago called Bolingbrook. If you're like from Illinois, you'll know Bolingbrook because we have an IKEA. And if you're not from Illinois, you'll know Bolingbrook because maybe you've heard of Drew Peterson. If you haven't, you can look him up. There's a Lifetime movie about him. We're famous for that. It's awesome. But no, in all reality, Bolingbrook was literally like an amazing place to grow up. It was super diverse. I went to school with, like, we had like 4,000 people in our high school. And so I just saw all kinds of people, was friends with all kinds of people. And it really like shaped the way I see the world now. And I'm very thankful for growing up there. But then I've also like lived in the city in Chicago. So, you know, Chicago forever. I'm actually going there this week for my very best friend's wedding. Obviously the maid of honor. Okay. I'm also sharing maid of honor position with her sister, but maid of honor. So I will take you along on my trip to Chicago, show you like some Chicago things, take you to the wedding. It'll be very fun. And I'm not dating anyone, so I'm bringing my other best friend, Brittany, along with me as my +1, so that's going to be super fun. You'll get to meet a lot of my, like, very close friends. Brittany, you'll hear about a lot. She's actually living with me in Ohio, in the house we're renting.
Is that I did not sign up for this.
What, to be?
YouTube star.
Okay, but you are, and you're in my
I like to do
video.
puzzles. I've been working on this for like 3 weeks.
We have not had a table since we moved in because of this puzzle, so maybe one day she'll finish it before we move out.
One day.
Otherwise, we just have to eat on top of the puzzle.
Which is fine.
And then Caitlin lives here in Ohio as well. So her and her 2 kids, Grayson and Silas, you'll probably be seeing lots of them. I'm just going to talk about my friends on first name basis because you'll get to know who they are eventually. Besides like coming with me like wherever I go, whether that's on a trip or like on a volunteer trip with my village, there's a couple other things that I'm interested in, like holistic wellness and taking care of yourself through food. So I'm not on like a diet, but I have food restrictions, and they just help me feel better. And I would love to talk about that. I talk about that with a lot of my friends. And we kind of all are like on the same page with realizing that like what we eat really affects like everything in our body. So like, yeah, we can go into that later. I don't want to say that I'm all against Western medicine. I'm not, but again, very interested in like how we can just heal ourselves and treat the problem and not the symptom. So probably things that I'll talk about, but along with that, I think fitness and exercise really play a big part in that. And I'm yoga teacher trained, and I think there's a lot of things that I might talk about that have to do with like yoga or fitness or food or like herbal medicine, things like that. Okay, plans for the next year, like now until end of 2023. Things that you get to like look forward to on this channel that I could like bring you along on. Obviously the wedding next week, Chicago. That'll be a good one. Holiday time, I actually don't know. I have 3 weeks off of work from this contract, and I'm debating, like, do I work somewhere else? Do I go somewhere? I actually don't know yet. So, like, TBD for that period of time, but we could maybe do some, like, fun Ohio things, like visit the Amish during that time. January, volunteer trip to Puerto Rico, which I actually have spots left open on there. If you want to just come with to Puerto Rico, you can join us. That will be a very fun episode because you get to see what we do, and maybe you'll sign up for a trip in the future. And then probably like working again in Ohio, like for a couple of months. May is where things get really fun. So I'm going to spend like a month and a half in Puerto Rico. So I'll be there a little bit longer term so I can work with some of our rescue partners a little bit more in depth, leading a couple of volunteer trips, not just one. And then planning to travel to Southeast Asia for like 4, 5, 6 months, like kind of open-ended. That will be super fun for you guys to come along on, like a little solo travel journey. Lots to look forward to that I'm excited about. All right, so me and Brittany are on our way to work. We are working in Sylvania today, which is like 2 hours away from where we live. And then afterwards we're going straight from Sylvania to Chicago. But we were already on the way and someone forgot her dresses for the wedding. So we had to turn around and come back, and now we're gonna be late.
Got them. All the important things.
Yeah, the dresses that we need
Everything that I would
for
wear.
the wedding.
I would have had to go. There we go. Right.
Oh, I wanted to explain why me and Brittany are like living in a house and not in our vans, because Brittany and her husband Drew also have a van that they live and travel in full time, just like me. But basically, like, it's winter in Ohio right now, so the way our contract works, we get paid our weekly salary, and then we also get paid a weekly per diem that pays for us to like be here. So they are assuming that we're not from Ohio, and they're paying us to come here and paying for all of our living expenses. So the first 4 months that I was here, I was just pocketing that per diem and living out of my van. But now that it's winter, we decided to stay in a house because we do get paid to do that. So why not? My van was never intended to be a winter van, so when I was building it out, I did not put, first of all, it's 2-wheel drive, so I don't want to be like in the snow driving my van in the first place, but I don't have heat, and that's like a huge thing, especially if I'm leaving the dogs in there while I'm not in there. I, in like a pinch, can go to like a campground and plug in, and then plug in like a little electric heater for the night, just so that we're comfortable. But if I'm not there, obviously I'm not comfortable keeping an electric heater plugged in. So it's just easier for us to live in the house, and we get paid to do that, so why not? We're gonna have like a 2-hour recording.
A lot of editing to do. How much storage do you have on your phone?
I have like the 1 terabyte iCloud,
Oh.
so like,
So that's
which is
a
like
lot.
unlimited. Yeah. We pay $9.99 a month for that. Ow. See, my cut is already like, it's already bleeding. Band-Aid. Literally just nick it on one thing. I sliced my finger open. See this? Not really. During Thanksgiving. So it's been Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Like a while. And it still bleeds anytime it touches something. So I've been band-aided up.
Oh my god, this wind. 10 and 2. Drive like a granny. So we don't blow off the road. They're gonna be like, who is this friend? She's weird. She does puzzles. She shows like a grandma.
But
How
follow,
old is she?
but follow them on Instagram
I'm a lot
and
cooler
TikTok.
on Instagram.
Yes. Live for adventure. Live for advan. Get it? Adventure.
Thank you for explaining that. People need to know.
Yes. They didn't spell adventure wrong. Van,
No.
van life, adventure. Alright, maybe if I make my hair look like. Okay, so this car that we're driving is actually Caitlin and her husband Steve's car. Well, actually Steve's car. Right now it is fully packed with our suitcases and everything for Chicago, and then all of our work stuff in the back. So again, we do like events, so we have like a table and tent set up, and giveaways and flyers. The entire trunk is full of that. So our suitcases and stuff are just in the back seat. There's no more room in here. But thank you to Caitlin and Steve for letting us borrow this car for our time in Ohio. Now we don't have to drive our vans like back and forth to wherever we work every day, which is very nice. Mini Cooper. So my sister has one of those, and that's how I feel too. But they're like a little like club, you know, like the Jeep.
Oh, like
People-
Wave. Yeah, I used to have a Jeep.
Yes.
Only Jeep Wranglers.
Yes. So it's like they have like they wave to each other. They go to like a meetup. It's a whole Mini Cooper.
When I had a Jeep
Cult.
Wrangler, like Jeep Liberties would try to wave at me, and I'd be like, "You don't count."
Yeah.
It's the same with like
Little
vans.
culty.
We do that with like. Do you ever?
Wait, remember I
wave at
had
van
my
people?
first van wave? I think it was when I was like by you in Arizona.
I don't
Someone
remember
waved,
that.
and I was like,
That's like Drew every time, except Drew's so like.
no one else has ever
Really?
waved to me. Like, and I
Huh.
pass people in Ohio too, and I'm like, oh, you would think like there's no other van people.
I feel like people who have really like expensive looking vans don't ever.
No,
wave.
that's yes. It's they get the Revels or
It's
the
the-
Solus, and
yes.
like
But
it's
if
not a custom built
if you
out
have like
whatever.
the Pro Masters like you, or a Sprinter
Yeah.
van, or like just like a beat up van that's like
Yes,
whatever.
I think that's what it
those
is.
are when you get the wave.
Yeah, 'cause those are more like
cool
RV people.
And they're like proud of their van. They didn't just go spend like $200,000 on this already made
Right.
van, so it's just different. They just don't know.
So van people, you should always wave.
I didn't realize you were recording this whole time. Always wave.
We are officially on the way to Chicago for Afra's wedding. Just got my nails done. So where's the camera? So cute. And the next episode.